So today is Tuesday, the 16th of June, and coming into the market open today, I don't know why that's that. All indices closed pretty well for the most part yesterday. They all gapped up, and the S&P closed near all-time highs. Similarly for Nasdaq as well, closing just below all-time highs. The Dow Jones did make new all-time highs yesterday, but closed just below. But for the most part, showing real strength across the board. The IWM was the only day that actually technically closed down on the day, but it's still, due to the gap up, it was still a positive day overall, and also made new all-time highs. So clear strength still in the market, and it looks like for the most part this was just a momentary pullback, and based on the Iran US peace deal basically being confirmed, it's not going to be signed until the 19th, but for the most part that's kind of out the way now, and things are looking like I guess a little bit more rosier, a little bit more optimistic moving forwards now that that's out of the way. So the big one is obviously the headline event on Wednesday with the FOMC meeting with new Fed Chair Walsh. That's going to really dictate I guess the theme of how the Fed are going to moving forward, and I guess that's the big day. That's the crunch time for, I guess, really understanding what direction the market will want to go. If there's any signs of more than expected, well, I don't even know if dovish comments are expected or not. But if there was dovish comments, and then if there was extremely dovish comments, then that would really propel the market in a really significant way, in my opinion. So I think that's the key one to look out for, I guess, at this point, based on the NFP figures and the CPI that came in relatively hot. It would make sense that the Fed does come in more hawkish, but if they don't, then yeah, that's a surprise. I think the market will react positively to. The VIX is basically at the pre-volatility levels, is completely retraced that, and for the most part, this volatility spike's done with, I'd say. Dollar index holding up relatively flat from the day prior. Semiconductors in line with the IWM, just pushing higher. The one thing to note is in my opinion, is the space stocks ETF, which is sold off quite dramatically. And if you compare that to SpaceX in itself, it's pushed up higher again yesterday and is gapping up even higher for the third consecutive day today. And it looks like, as opposed to new money coming into the space, it's actually just money rotating from space stocks into SpaceX. So that's something that I realized today. Actually, maybe it's not as there's not that same complacency as I thought before. It is actually just a rotation going on. But yeah, more to, I guess, unfold of that. More to wait and see how things play out for the rest of the week. Moving on to commodities, gold is pushing higher. Silver's also reclaimed the 200-day second consecutive day, or first daily close, and looking like a second consecutive daily close if today closes strongly. And oil is just completely done with for the most part. This chart is dead and losing the higher time frame moving averages. This blue line's the 150-day. It's looking like, in line with the peace deal, it's looking like it is actually all but confirmed. And it was looking this way back here, and then this lower high forming here. But obviously we've only just had the confirmation of the peace deal. So yeah, it makes sense that this actually is it, and it's going to go ahead and return to some form of normality. Bitcoin's reacting positively as a result of that, and for the most part is holding up relatively well. The only thing that I would say about this push higher is that there hasn't really been much of an uptick in volume so far. That was the US dollar chart, but this is the tether chart, and it's pretty similar compared to this selling that we had. There's not been any real inflow of volume and upside volume buy side pressure in the same way. So that is potentially a little sign of concern. I'd like to see that pick up a bit, but it's still early days. The 20-day is looking like it could potentially be closed above today after a slight rejection yesterday. So there are definitely positive things starting to develop on that front. The breadth indicators closing relatively flat compared to prior day's open for the 20-day stocks above the 20-day moving average. 1 month overall highs breaking the 1,000 mark, which is pretty significant. Definitely room for the upside, but the fact that it's above 1,000 is a clear sign that the strength is in the market. A lot of stocks are making new monthly highs. That's definitely not a bearish thing. Number of stocks making 52-week highs relatively flat as well from yesterday, but the number of stocks making 52-week lows is not a massive retracement from a prior week, but still it's coming down even more. So again, a sign of strength as opposed to weakness. And the 2-year relatively flat, and the 5-year and 10-year as well. No real movement in bonds. So in regards to primary breadth indicators, Stockbee's primary breadth indicators, another sign on the full number of stocks up 4% on the day, showing that there's clearly buyers stepping into the market still, and it's starting to favour the buys as opposed to the sells, and things that's just constructive and supportive of everything else that's showing up in the market in terms of what the major indices are doing and what all the other breadth indicators are doing that I've looked at. In regards to news, no keynote news events today. It's tomorrow, the big day. The fear and greed index has moved up to 41 from 34 yesterday. So again, signs that strength's coming back into the market and fears leaving it. Makes sense after the peace deal. The best performing stocks for the week and the month is a bit mixed. Is kind of a game of musical chairs right now. Basic materials up, industrials, and financials just all rotating between the top three, and similarly for the 1 month, but tech's in the mix as well. But yeah, nothing really too much to gain from that. And in regards to earnings, it's still a quiet earnings period, and just a small selection of stocks reporting earnings today, just 8.